Hello, welcome back to MidEast In-Depth, part of Levant TV's Press Review. Let's look at the media and see what they had to say about the election in Syria. Mohammed Ballout writes in Al-Safir on the Syrian election and the implication of President Assad staying in power. The article was translated to English and featured in the Washington-based Al-Monitor. The writer says the Syrian election deserves to be analyzed differently from just claiming that it's a sham. Before the election, some wings of the internal Syrian opposition asked Syrians to boycott the election with some legitimate reasons, but in the end the Syrians were given a choice between Jabhat al-Nusra, the Islamic Front, and the jihadist groups on the one hand, or to cast a ballot as an act that fortifies the Syrian position on the other. Damascus scored a political victory by the mere fact that thousands of Syrians in the war's fourth year went to the polling stations despite a regional and international anti-Syrian war managed by Washington, Paris, Riyadh, Doha, Istanbul and Amman. It's obvious that organizing the election would not have been possible had the Syrian army not regained the initiative on the ground over the span of nearly 2 years after a full year of retreat toward urban centers, especially Damascus. But the army reorganized its ranks, its weapons and its allies and formed a strategy to counter the jihadists and the Friends of Syria group. The first international response to the election results, beside the traditional positions, will come this time from the UN General Assembly. Knowledgeable diplomatic sources informed Al-Safir that broad consultations were taking place among Western countries, notably the US, France and Britain, and the Arab countries, notably Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and Islamic countries, notably Turkey, and may result in a decision to not resort to the UN Security Council for fear of a Russian-Chinese veto. Ballout says the biggest bet is on Egypt after the election of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. It's no secret that the security contacts between Syria and Egypt have expanded recently, especially with the revelation that there are training bases for Egyptian jihadists in northern Syria. Also on Syria, Dia Hadid writes in the Beirut-based Daily Star an article titled "Syria's election shows depth of support for Assad." For all the serious flaws in Syria's election, it underscored the considerable support that President Bashar al-Assad still enjoys from the population, including many in the majority Sunni Muslim community. Without Sunni support, however, Assad's rule would have collapsed long ago amid a civil war that activists say has killed more than 160,000 people and displaced at least a third of Syria's pre-war population of 23 million and destroyed wide swath of the country. That support was on display as Syrians voted overwhelmingly Tuesday to give Assad another 7-year term. He won 88.7% of the vote, the Speaker of Parliament announced Wednesday night, although the outcome was never in question. If only minorities were loyal to Al-Assad, the rebels would have taken the country, said Wida Saleh, a 35-year-old lawyer and Assad supporter who reluctantly identified herself as a Sunni Muslim. Assad's supporters offered insights into why they still back him. These include fatigue over the conflict, mistrust among many towards a disorganized opposition, and the growing power of Islamic extremists in the rebel ranks. Some said they support the government because it provided many free services, such as education and healthcare, and heavily subsidized other services. But before the uprising, Syria was often touted as one of the safest countries in the world. That was it for today. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching MidEast In-Depth and bye for now.